So, Marty, did you go to the game or did you just?
No, we went to Cedar Rapids, and then the game started at 11. And I'm like, I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock to go to a tailgate. So we went over to one of my friend's sister's houses, and we hung out, and it was awesome. Like 5 guys I've known since kindergarten. It was great. It was a good time.
Good deal.
And I still have 5 friends from kindergarten. Try to figure that. Maybe you guys don't. You know, I mean, think about that.
Yeah. Even after he stole or broke your kite?
You know what? Poor Bill just lived not far from me, so I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
He needed a friend.
He needed
it. He did a good job on Saturday, though.
Yeah.
I was
serious. Bill is he's a wealth of Iowa wrestling knowledge, Iowa knowledge in general, but he knows a lot about wrestling.
He does. He is a wealth of knowledge for Iowa. Yeah, he doesn't let it out often. You got to kind of squeeze it out of him, but when it's like, yeah, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think it's required reading in Iowa, right?
I guess so. There's nothing else to do. Watch the corn and beans grow, then take them out.
Yeah. Speaking of Marty, so we can jump into a little college wrestling. So what are they going to do? Have you heard anything? How are they going to solve the lineup crisis?
I haven't heard anything, either as Bill, but I'll tell you what, I read a post from a guy that was at practice this past weekend on Saturday. He says they looked really good. Really good.
Yeah.
The most impressed he was the Cooter kid, or the Keeter, however you pronounce it. The kid from Iowa City, or Iowa City West, right. I don't know, whatever. But he said he was working out with Warner, and he said it was crazy athleticism.
So he didn't play football this year, right?
Nope, he did not, because he knew all the linebackers were coming back, and he already redshirt. So now he's still got a year of eligibility for football. So we'll see what happens, though. He finished maybe 3rd in the country, maybe 2nd in the country in wrestling. You might want to take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a tough weight class.
And the guy also, like whoever I read on this post thing on Facebook, but he also said the wrestling facility is incredible.
So, yeah, the new facility. I bet that thing is pretty sweet. It's got how many mats? I don't know. Like it's huge.
It is.
But so Super 32 finished up this weekend. Do you guys follow along any of the high school results?
I follow along with everything, Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you got? It wasn't the greatest showing
for Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, well, Illinois, some kids did well.
Champs, it's not bad.
Yeah. No, Illinois overall did pretty well. They had some good standout performances. What is it? I think it was 113. The guy that beat Rocco last year, he
106, I think.
That kid's still at 106 pounds.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched his finals match. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I thought the Schwab kid would give him problems in the semis, and he's a man out there. He's tough. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, if you look at like nationally, like Illinois high school kids, there's like 5 or 6 kids that really come out. But I'll tell you what, there's a bunch of them that are getting close to getting like a lot of recognition, But I mean, there's some kids that they're probably playing football or whatever they're doing. That Super 32 is a tough thing. It's like right in the beginning of the school year and everything.
Well, a kid that jumps out would be like the Stewart kid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he plays football, because I think I saw last year he rushed for some ungodly number of yards, like 200, 300 in a game. Like, the kid's just a stud.
Yeah.
So for him to go out there right now, I mean, and plus, I'm not saying he doesn't need to do it, but he doesn't need to go prove himself at the Super 32.
You're talking about Aaron Stewart,
right?
157-pounder. He reminds me of my former roommate John Durgo. He's out running 200 yards rushing on Friday nights, and one of the best wrestlers in the country.
A freak.
Yeah. It was an interesting tournament. A lot of guys that went from the area didn't place. Nobody, I don't think anybody placed. I think Rocco got pretty far, but Rocco went up a weight class from what he was listed.
Yeah, he ended up going 26.
26, yeah.
So I don't know if he could change last minute or if that was like a change that they had planned or not. But yeah.
But he finished a round away from top 8.
Yeah.
He finished top 12 maybe. Lost him
he might be growing a little bit more.
Yeah, he's probably definitely growing.
None of the Cassiopeias are what you would call really small.
No.
Yeah. Round of 8.
Sometimes they start out small, but then they kind of they
I think both him and Bruno, I think last year was a good weight cut for them to maintain where they were. So this year they probably let's move up and wrestle where we feel comfortable.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take people on.
No.
Yeah. Well, they've been taking on their older brothers for a couple of years.
Yeah, that usually doesn't turn out well for them.
Yeah.
Maybe their sisters beating on them too. You don't know.
Right? Yeah.
True. They do have 2 tough sisters.
The Massey kid, what he finished? He was close to in the wrestlebacks, right?
Yeah, he lost in the wrestleback as well. He lost in the wrestleback, I believe, the same round as Cassiope.
And locally, those were the only 2.
Yeah, those are the only 2. TJ wrestled. He was done fairly early.
I mean, what did he finish? 3-2 out there, I think. 3-2, 4-2. I mean,
I think Gina though fit place.
What's that?
Right, Gina.
I don't know if she wrestled. I didn't look at the.
I think she placed.
Okay.
Did she go out? I didn't look at the.
Yeah.
I'll apologize to all the women wrestling fans. I did not look at the women results.
Yeah, no, I'll keep you guys up to date.
Okay. Well, thanks, Marty.
You're welcome. No problem. I'm very, very woke.
Well, looking into the future though of some episodes of the podcast, I've been reaching out to a lot of coaches and we've been getting some feedback. So what is going to be nice is we're going to be able to ask directly these coaches, right? Us 3, we're following as much as we can and we're trying to pay attention. But what we really need is to get the firsthand account from these coaches who are talking about their athletes. They know what place they went. They know how many matches they won and lost. And they also know, who their opponents were. Tell me, give me your, your account of how much better or, whatever happened. So I'm really looking forward to getting more connection with some of these coaches so that they can kind of help inform us because obviously, we're watching as much as we can, but there's so many kids out there. And if we get an opportunity to talk to these coaches, they should be able to help make that a lot easier for us.
When I was coaching, it was back in the boonies and stuff like that. But there was a lot of times that we had to send our own stats into the paper to get it out in the public. And Jim Powell, one of my assistant coaches, used to be incredible for doing that. Every dual meet was in the paper the next day. Every tournament we wrestled in on Saturday was in the paper on Sunday. Anything that was going on, he would call the newspaper. And it was not only just the Rockford Register Star, but he'd do the Beloit Daily News too. So, you got to get it out, right? it's a whole different ball game now because of all the technology. But even back then, I was a big believer. Every Sunday morning, I would go to the mobile station in Rockton, and I'd get the newspaper so I could look at the Chicago Tribune and find out all the wrestling scores and see who we're up against. So it's just something you got to do.
And I think
they got to be willing to help us out, right?
Yeah, and I think they're like I said, I'm very optimistic. I put out today. I emailed the coaches registrations for podcast time slots. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to record Wednesday and Saturday, and I put out whether or not they want to set up for a 20-minute segment. So we're going to do 20-minute segments with coaches from the area. And, just get a little preview of the program. When the season starts, we're going to have to switch to maybe an evening on maybe a Monday evening or maybe a Sunday evening or something like that, and do the same thing and kind of get a a little summary of what has gone on throughout the week of dual meets and competitions and stuff. So I think we got a good response, and we're going to do our best and build off of what we did last year, and so it's going to be good.
Awesome.
Not to mention talk about some college wrestling, because I think, as much as we are going to be able to share what's going on with the high school circuit and, what's going on at that level, us three, we love college wrestling. And I think it's very valuable for the community to watch and pay attention to college wrestling, because college wrestling is the pinnacle of the sport. And, and I want to see if the Hawkeye. Are you going to wear, Marty? Are you going to wear your Hawkeye shirt this year or the Oklahoma State shirt that you got?
Well, you know what? That depends on how things, all fall together. I don't know. I think right now it's the Hawkeyes, right? But you never know. I mean, David Taylor could twist my arm and send me another sweatshirt. I could probably wear it.
Dan, who's your team that you're backing this year?
Okie State always.
I think I'm joining you.
What? Here's the thing.
Marty can attest to this. I've been Okie State since his dad about beat my ass at the nationals, and I dropped the old the F-bomb there. Remember?
Yeah.
I didn't know why he was mad at me. I was mad that Okie State kind of fell apart at the national tournament there in Iowa and said something. And
many years ago, it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what though? Here's another thing too. People that need to realize. They need to realize they're only 45 minutes away from watching Wisconsin wrestle live. They're only 45 minutes away from watching NIU wrestle live. They're only an hour away from watching Northwestern wrestle live. I mean, just today, it's kind of weird. Marianne and I sat down with our calendar, and we put all the home meets in for Wisconsin, all the home meets in for Northwestern, and all the home meets in for NIU. Not saying we're going to get to all of them, but there's going to be I love going to Wisconsin to watch wrestling.
Oh, that's
that
a great
field house. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. So I mean, people got to realize, man, there's not only is there going to be great wrestling in this area for high school kids, but man, there's going to be great college wrestling, and the Big Tens are at Northwestern.
Yeah. Did you? I mean, I'll be up to a few Wisconsin dual meets for sure. I enjoy going up there. I'm with you. I think that there's a lot of close wrestling, that's for sure.
There is, yeah. You're right on
them. What I was going to say about college teams, I really think that I'm going to kind of become a Oklahoma State homer this year. I think, one thing I didn't realize is I forgot that they got that Aminine, right?
Yeah.
And Amin, they got Amin. They've got
heavyweight,
Hamidi. They got the heavyweight. They got they're 25, and then they got. I mean, I think Dustin Plott, they're gonna be all right. And the way that
well, hang on, you just can't jump ship, because if you're gonna jump ship, we're gonna kick you overboard.
I wasn't on it. I didn't
say you're a Hawkeye fan.
I wasn't on any ship.
I'm just saying, what? And now you're stating right now that you're going to be the man at Oklahoma State.
We need to rewind the video here, because you said I'm going to start with Iowa, but if Okie State pulls it together, I might start going you were
you're the one that's jumping ship.
But you forget that I stopped at Dalton's place and I took those tapes and they're no longer available. I erased them. You can't prove that.
Yeah. No, Marty, you're the one that might be jumping ship halfway through, but
right.
I never jump. I mean, I say I'm jumping ship, but I never jump ship.
Well, Oklahoma State, they do Oklahoma State at Iowa this year. That is going to be an interesting duel.
That's like the last duel of the year, too.
Yeah.
That could be a road trip.
That could be.
Get us in a podcast, too, Dalton. We can be there.
Well, we'll keep pumping the Oklahoma State. I'll reach out to my boy Jimmy Kennedy and see what can happen.
Get us credentials to get down to the floor.
I'm not going to be on the Iowa fan
I was going to say several years ago when Bobby Hernandez was still alive, we got to go to the Okie State Iowa duel, and we were right on the floor, right next to the mat there, and right next to Oklahoma State's coaching staff, their bench, and Bobby sitting on the other side of me, and he, professional trash talker, and is yelling stuff at John Smith during the matches. Anytime Smith would stand up, he's like, "Sit down, coach, sit down." And I'm sitting next to him, like, they're going to come over and whip my ass because you are sitting next to me and they can't see you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a little hostile at the Iowa Oklahoma State. I did not realize it was the Oklahoma State duel, but yeah, that is obviously one of the premier.
I think there's a lot of hype with Okie State right now because David Taylor, plus they got some good recruit or transfers to come in. It's going to be interesting if they follow through on the hype. I think they still have a couple spots they need to solidify in that lineup. Maybe I think 25 they're pretty solid. They have they lost their 33 or 41 pounder left, who was a qualifier last year for him. Black kid, I think he left. So
I think David Taylor's going to do nothing but good things.
What's that?
I think David Taylor's going to do nothing but great things.
Yeah. It's interview. He's happy with the lineup. He's liking where things are going. I mean, I think just a fresh face and a guy who's still competing for a world title brings a little different atmosphere into that.
Isn't that coming up for him?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Got to be pretty soon.
September. Well, no, that was qualified. I don't know when.
It's got to be like in November, right? Because I've heard nothing about it in October. Come on, Dalton, look it up.
Yeah, you're our stat guy. You're our internet guy.
Oh, look at that. He's
October 28th through the 31st.
Holy shit.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
There we go. Then he can come back and
that's Halloween.
And focus on the season, and
right.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, they'll get right back, and then they'll start that season that next week, beginning of November.
Yeah, that'll be a wild start to the year. Yeah, I mean, I think just from what I know and what I've seen, I think youthfulness is definitely a good thing, right? Especially I can only imagine that it's difficult to energize the Oklahoma State program, right? It's mostly probably been driven by expectations. Kind of like when Tom Brands first came in. I actually was around the university when that kind of first started. I knew a lot of guys on the team. I was getting recruited there. I spent a lot of weekends there. It was a change, and it like reinvigorated the culture a little bit. A lot of people were competing. There was, 3 recruiting classes, the one that was there, the one that came over, and then the next one. And so I would imagine that Oklahoma State's going to be able to ride that momentum of the change, the youthfulness of the coaches, probably the benefit of you're thinking about a transfer like DJ Hamidi or that Amin, like those, and that Wyatt Hendrickson. Those are very beneficial transfers. So they're going to change the culture. They're going to energize people. They're going to make sure that it's hard not to get a positive.
You got 3 All-Americans that are all 3 going to compete for a national title to come into your room. It's a nice pickup.
We'll see how though he handles all the adversities though of coaching, when behind the scenes stuff and dealing with not only just the wrestlers but the wrestlers' parents and this and that, making weight, everything, it's that stepping out of the mat and coaching is the easiest thing there is. It's behind the first scene.
Well, that's like one of the things that he mentioned. He said he has other coaches, and Jimmy Kennedy's been basically, an assistant coach at multiple programs. So, I think he's going to be the guy that's behind the scenes, kind of making sure things are done right. They have obviously Caldwell, who has been assistant coach for a few years. I think that those are the hard things, right? Who got arrested this weekend that we have
Right.
to go deal with? Because that stuff does happen. I think that's, as a fan, you don't really know any of that stuff, but they're kids and they're, in a university setting with a lot of
Money.
a
Money
lot of
now.
money, a lot of money now, and distractions, and when you're at these bigger school programs, right? There, a lot of things can go
A little
wrong.
freedom.
So
Yeah.
So I think he's probably going to do great, and it's hard to. I would imagine that it would be hard to be that guy on the team who doesn't really want to focus and wants to go out and stuff when you got these guys at the top, running the ship, So I'm sure it's gonna be tough.
Kind of helps clean the room a little bit,
Yeah.
You get the guys who are really committed, and then you get those guys who thought they were committed and realize what the commitment actually takes. And, they tend not to stick around very much, or they go to a different program.
Yeah. And I would say I would think more the reinvigoration, right? So a lot of those kids that are having trouble, right? They're just not motivated. And, when the old crew has been doing something, a certain situation, it can be real easy to not be excited about it. So I bet you could turn some of those guys around, because some of those guys are really good at wrestling too. So I know a few of them from my own experience were really good at wrestling, but they needed motivation, or so.
Let's switch. We talked a little bit about Wisconsin. Are they going to? They lost their guy, right? They lost Hamidi. Would they? I don't know what they had in the stables to reload. I know they're a little down last year, but
yeah, I would say if Braxton Amos, I think, is back. He's an All-American,
and I think he's moving up to heavyweight. What I thought I read somewhere.
Is he heavyweight or?
He was a 90. He was a 97 pounder, but I thought I saw him listed heavyweight possibly this year.
I looked at the roster today. Actually, he is listed
like an ish, 97 ish.
He's listed as heavyweight, and again, that might be one of the big motivations to get a guy like Tony Cassiope in to help coach.
Right. It's going to take some coaching to be an All-American at that weight.
Yeah, so why not have a 4-time All-American?
Right.
And I saw a video, and Tony was he's wrestling. So I'm sure that he's going to be a very, very heavy favorite going into the season. I don't know if Zargo is going to be wrestling or if he is going to redshirt. But Will Zargo, he's pretty tough, 149 pounder.
They lost
Garrett Model, and not Garrett. No, sorry, that's his brother. I don't know if he's actually Gavin.
It could be a tough year for Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. The Barnett kid graduated.
Yep, Eric Barnett graduated. He's gone. When you talk about the Big Ten, it's a big hill, and you gotta have some firepower to get over that hill. So we'll see. You never know when that first. Yeah, that transition.
Maybe this is the year Penn State falls apart.
yeah, right.
Everything goes
money
wrong
on that.
Well, every time that's happened a couple times that things have started to go wrong, and Cal just finds a guy to fill the spot.
Yeah, they haven't won the Big Ten every year, but they find a way to win the national title.
And it's all nice and quiet.
Yeah.
You don't hear about anything, which I love. It's just they got that under wraps.
Yeah. Speaking of, did you see that the assistant coach Casey Cunningham's son wrestled this weekend?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can tell that this kid is getting exposed to
already
high level wrestling. Man, he is so good.
What
Just
weight was he?
I couldn't tell you. I would say right around 40, 50, somewhere around there. But very, very good. But yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people, like coaches talk, like one of my coaches at Nebraska, Mester, he wrestled at Central Michigan. And while he was at Central Michigan, Casey Cunningham was one of the coaches or an assistant coach, because that's where Casey Cunningham wrestled. And they used to always say that he was like the best. He was the technical guru that they learned everything from. And I think even Pat McNamara said something like that. Pat from down south, he was in the same like lineage or whatever. But so yeah, I can imagine. But his son is a freak. I've never heard of him until this
What age?
last weekend. Good question. Maybe sophomore, junior.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really haven't paid attention too much, but yeah, he's very good. So, but yeah, anything else going on? You guys excited about? Like I said, Saturday, I think we have a couple local coaches that are signed up that want to jump on and
Awesome.
chat. So
We still got to get that big tall guy from Ononega on, state champ.
Yeah, we got to get Brad on.
Yeah,
I was going to give him a call today and see what he was up to, but I got a little sidetracked and didn't get it. I was supposed to interview Gene earlier today, but he was unable to meet the time because a lot.
Be good.
Yeah, a lot
him
of
and Gene.
Yeah, a lot of the programs right now are doing like rookie week or tryouts for youth and middle school kids. So I was just trying to reach out to some of those coaches to see if they wanted to come on and talk about what they had going on. But
you reached out to Cal at all?
Yeah, I talked to Cal this afternoon, and I also reached out to, I think, Justin Barber's coach, like the head coach. So yeah, so hopefully we'll be getting a whole host of different coaches from the area to come on. So
cool. Awesome.
But all right, guys, well, I'll leave you there, and we'll catch up on Saturday. Go Pokes.
All right. Hey, good luck with that.